Hello everyone, my name is Joey Maxon. I'm from South Carolina. I am working on my MA in marriage and family therapy. It's exciting to do this. It's nice to see some faces. With online classes, you don't get to see everybody, and this is kind of nice, especially in the times we're living in now. So I'm excited about doing this project. I'm going to talk today about informed consent and some of the examples I found compared to the ACA recommendations and my state recommendations as well. The state recommendations were kind of the simplest, probably. They were a little more spread out throughout the state laws and stuff that I looked up, so it was a little harder to find them. And the state, surprisingly, actually, the state of South Carolina actually referred to the ACA Code of Ethics as well, saying that, hey, basically saying if there's something that you didn't understand or something that wasn't covered in depth, to refer to the ACA. So I thought that was interesting. I was also able to go online and I found a sample of an informed consent form from a counseling group in Maryland, and it was just okay, to be honest. There was a lot of things, some of the main things I found that were kind of similarities between the state and the ACA code. There was like 12 different things actually. Like some of the main ones were purposes of counseling, goals, techniques, procedures, limitations, potential risks, benefits, implications of diagnosis, intended use of tests and reports. Obviously, confidentiality was a huge thing. The role of technology, which is becoming increasingly important, so that's a really important thing, and also fees and billing arrangements. Those were some of the real key things that I found amongst all of these. The example I found from the company in Maryland, honestly, it had really in the second line of the entire thing, it had a typo, which was a real turnoff to me. I always have thought of personally of informed consent forms as like almost the small print, and probably haven't read too many of them in my life, or certainly haven't read really past the first paragraph or so. So now that I was actually reading and I found a typo, it was kind of a turnoff to me. But yeah, this form was honestly very repetitive. There were several different headings, and I felt like they kept kind of repeating some of the same things over and over. So that was a little bit. It didn't flow very well. There was a couple things it didn't cover. It didn't cover continuation of services. I found that was another interesting fact. I found that the ACA was really the only one that had that clause in there. Upon a little bit deeper digging, I found that in the South Carolina code as well. That there was a section that was dedicated to that. Yeah, so the one I found online wasn't great compared to what I felt like needed to be covered. It just wasn't clear and concise in what it did. I read a really good article by Barry Bass and Julie Quimby that was in the Family Journal, and it was honestly probably the highlight of this assignment for me, because Dr. Bass later in the article, in the appendix, actually they included a lot of what he practices personally with confidentiality, which was kind of what grabbed my attention in the whole thing. Some of the things were he literally, and this is a guy that's been practicing for 35 plus years, so that's why it was so interesting to me. Some of the things that he practices personally, literally he has it in his informed consent form that if he runs into you in public, he will not say hello to you in order to protect your confidentiality. I thought that was really interesting. The fact that he has different doors for entering and exiting his practice, I've heard of that before, but I thought that was also interesting. And being a student in marriage and family counseling, I also found it interesting. He had a very developed section about holding secrets and basically reserving his own right to tell what he felt like was valuable information to a spouse when working with couples. So I thought that was really interesting, and it was a good read, and I'd recommend it to anybody just that's interested in the field. So yeah, so that's my take on informed consent. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to listening to everybody else's. See ya.